That does taste absolutely amazing. Yeah! The sweet taste of a Chicago Bears win. I've had this thing in the wraps for at least about 3 weeks, and it feels so good to finally be able to light a Chicago Bears victory cigar. And does victory taste so good? Bears win 24-18 at home to get the record to 2-2 on the year. There are some things that I really want to discuss within this ball game, but it feels so good to do it after a Chicago Bears win. But I'm not going to make this any longer. So it's time to talk a Chicago Bears win. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Now, let's start this video off in reaction by addressing the elephant in the room. The Bears as an offense. In the first 3 games, we were coming in criticizing so much of this offense. They struggled to run the football. It just didn't look good at all. It was out of sync all year. And we had moments in this game where we were still out of sync. Whether it was DJ Moore slowing down on a route, whether it was Caleb Williams being indecisive at times, we still have some hurdles to get over. But the one thing that I will take from this ball game is, number one, the Bears offensive line up front running the football.
Sensational.
That was the best game that this Bears unit has played all season long. And it came out that the players were kind of criticizing or getting on or wanted to be coached harder by Shane Waldron and his offense. They did a very solid job today. No turnovers.
Sensational.
That is a big help in a ball game that, coming in, we knew it was going to be a very close ball game. We knew that the Rams are going to play this team very close. But the thing that stood out is, number one, Caleb did not turn the football over.
Sensational.
That is a big thing within a ball game like this. No turnovers, no fumbles, no interceptions, nothing like that. Yeah, we did get a couple of sacks. We still managed to give up some pressure.
Squidward!
But they came out and was very physical running the football. Now, the one thing that I still don't like is we call too many screens. We call way too many screens. That is the one thing about this play call, and that is the one thing about this Bears offense that I will be honest, I am not a fan of. We call a lot of screens. Now, I've always been prevalent that if a screen game is executed and called at the proper time and did it properly, it can work, in which we've seen moments where the screen game for the Bears actually worked.
Sensational.
Another thing that I want to give credit to is DeAndre Swift had a hell of a football game.
Sensational.
He was a very good part of why the Bears won this game, whether it was the long touchdown run, whether it was making guys miss, being physical up front, and that will credit the offensive line of that, despite the Tevin Jenkins injury that ended up keeping him out of the rest of the game. This is the best the Bears have looked. They ran for 131 yards of offense.
Sensational.
Which is a big step from what they have been the last few weeks. 131 rushing yards. Caleb, statistically wise, you all guys know I don't care about the statistics. 157 yards passing, touchdown on that throw to DJ Moore, which was a very good throw in the back of the end zone when DJ Moore was covered by a linebacker, and Caleb Williams really saw it and threw the ball in between the needles. I would give him props. That was a very good throw, good read, good ball. He did miss a couple of throws.
That is blasphemous!
But at the end of the day, Caleb Williams played some efficient football, 17-23. He got 3 sacks.
Dinkelberg.
Shout out to Torrey Taylor. I have to give Torrey Taylor prop. Now, a lot of people that aren't students of the game, that don't watch the game, would think, oh, he's just a punter. But Tory Taylor and his getting the ball and flipping field position was big in this ball game.
Sensational.
It was absolutely key in this ball game, whether it was especially later on in that fourth quarter where the Rams, we kind of needed the Rams to have long drives in order to even try to win a game or keep the game a little closer. They had to have long drives thanks to Tory Taylor's punting ability and pinning the team down inside of the 20 and sometimes even inside the 10-yard line to make it so much harder for the Rams to have to come back. And that is an element why I always say complementary football, why I always say it takes 3 units. And special teams, Tory Taylor got the job done.
Sensational.
And we see why the Bears took him in the 4th round. We're starting to see why the Bears drafted him where they did, because we've seen he is an absolute weapon in this particular offense in this particular game itself. Yeah, we had some hiccups offensively. We still didn't get things going within the first half. But the flipping of field with Tory Taylor was, I think, a thing of beauty, and this is why we always say special teams plays the biggest part. And I think even though you get maybe very limited plays a game, we've seen that it can change. It takes elements of getting the Rams in good field position with Stafford, who I will give credit to Stafford. He was carving holes in the Bears' zone defense. And a veteran quarterback like that, with the arm talent that even in year 15, 16 that Matthew Stafford still has, he did a very good job in this ball game. Now, the Bears did get after him, 3 sacks, made a couple of pressures, especially on the last play of the game where they was getting home and made him at an errant throw that was intercepted by Brisker.
Sensational.
The Bears played a very good game defensively for the most part. Now, when I was talking about this, and I kind of all over the place, you guys know how my kind of flow is. When you're talking about this Bears as a defensive unit, it seemed like today, it was almost kind of like that bend, don't break style of defense, even though we did let up that rushing touchdown in the 3rd quarter to Kyren Williams. And the Bears did hold on a 2-point conversion to keep it a 2-point ball game instead of letting the Rams tie it, which I think played a big part of this ball game was the Bears getting that 2-point conversion stopped.
Sensational.
The Bears were a bend, don't break unit. Now, the Rams ran the football very well. They had 119 yards of rushing. Kyren Williams with 94 rushing yards on the TD.
Dinkelberg.
I just think the Bears, I think their defensive unit, they have to be just a bit. They weren't as stout against the run as I'm not going to lie. I probably tweeted this out too. You can follow me on Twitter, APW Sports. But I just was one that was kind of wanting them to be a little bit more stout against the run. They did hold up for the most part, especially later on in the ball game where they played a very physical unit and they were being very physical. And the Rams did have some longer drive. But shout out to the Bears getting pressure on Stafford, making things a little bit more difficult in that second half. And we're talking about Caleb Williams and his Bears offense as I'm flipping the subject. We're talking about a Bears offense who, statistically, the receivers didn't have a good day. 3 catches for Kmet, 3 catches for DJ Moore, 3 for Keenan Allen, and only 1 for Odunze. We see I believe we're starting to see things in Caleb Williams that is the reason we took him number 1. He started in number 1, make better decisions with the football. And I always said that was something that was going to come over time. Number 2, we're starting to see that Caleb Williams is going to trust the check down. We're starting to see like, okay, there's nothing open downfield. Let me get it to the check down. And that's why DeAndre Swift has 7 catches for 72 yards. Because it's, okay, we don't have nothing. Let me get some short completions. Let me get some first downs. Not take the home run hit. Just get the ball out. And I will do Caleb Williams this. First 3 games, he probably would have tried to shoot the thing down the field. So we're seeing progression in that aspect. And I will give credit to Shane Waldron for actually committed to the football, as in 28 rushing attempts versus Caleb Williams' 23 passing attempts. Yeah! When you committed to run a football in a game like this, you tire a defense down. You're being physical with them up front. You're pounding the rock. Yes, you don't succeed on every play, but if you're committed to a running game, over time, you start to tire a defense down, and that's when you start to open up a little bit more things and make things easier for Caleb Williams to get better decisions, have more open throwing lanes because the Rams are more committed to stopping the run. And the interior of the Bears offensive line played a whole hell of a lot better.
Sensational.
In this ball game than all season. I think this is probably the more collective win that the Bears have had I want to say in the last few years or the last few games of their, their tenure or whatever, but definitely the most complete game they've had all season. It is wins like this that can, number one, boost confidence of Caleb, boost confidence of this team, and start to get things moving on the right track. And this is just one step in making things progress going forward. Now, still things to fix offensively. It's still some continuity to be had between Caleb and the receivers. So I'm not going to say it's all perfect, but we're talking about a game like this and a production like this game that the Bears had to have before they dropped the 1-3 and keep themselves even at 2-2. They ran the football very productively, even though I think the Bears defensively could be better against the run. The one thing that the Bears did well in this game is that they turned over the Rams. Yes! 2 turnovers in this ball game that proved big. They proved big in this ball game. The Bears did as a collective unit. Offensively, they were very physical up front, ran the football more. Defensively, get after the quarterback, turn the football over. Now, I would like them to be a bit better against the run, but other than that, good game. Special teams, flipping the field and making longer drives for the Rams to have, and that is key in this ball game. So all 3 units stepped up. We know the Bears defense is one of the more top defenses in the NFL, but one thing the last 2 weeks have shown is that we have to be a bit more stout interior defensively against the run on a more consistent basis. Kudos to Shane Waldron for actually sticking to the running game. Defensively, creating turnovers, getting sacks, getting things happen. And Montez Sweat, that is why you go trade a second-round pick to get him. Yeah! And shout out to Payo Time, the Rams YouTube creator, which I will leave his link in the description, is where I was in his chat and we kind of going over some things with the Bears in this Rams game during the game, and it just reminded me the Bears only gave up a second-round pick for Montez Sweat and the impact that he can make. And it wasn't always sacks. It was batting the ball down, screen plays turn into nothing, hustle. That is why you go and get a Montez Sweat. He is a game changer on your defense. And as in what Payo Time said in his stream, second rounder was nothing compared to what we got for Sweat. So shout out to Payo Time again. Like I said, I will leave his link in the description below. But man, this game was something the Bears needed. It felt good to finally be able to be physical up front and run the football.
Sensational. And
I was one that got on DeAndre Swift about his play, offensive line not playing good. And from the statistical wise, we got outgained 322 to 264. But you guys know I don't care about that, because at the end of the day, what happened? We won. So it doesn't matter about statistics like I've always said. It matters about, number one, third down efficiency, which the Bears defensively were very solid on third down, 3 of 9. And, the Bears offensively 3 of 9 on third down. The Rams were 5 for 11 on third down. Third downs make a difference. Nobody went for it on 4th down in this entire ballgame, which in the situations, maybe the Rams would have had an opportunity, maybe the Bears too, but when Torrey Taylor punted like you will, I mean, that's how you like punting. Because at the end of the day, we know we're going to flip the field, but the way he's hot and the way he's been punting, which is why special teams was a big part in this win. And the other thing that I want to address before I close this reaction is the Bears in their false starts, the Bears in their pre-snap penalty. We gotta quit that. We gotta cut that out. The Bears, 10 penalties for 84 yards, and most of those were pre-snap penalties.
Squidward!
Turnovers, we got the strip sack from Sweat, we got the interception at the end, but penalties, we have got to cut those, because those cost us in very good drives, whether it's regaining momentum, we got a 3rd and 2, Cole Kmet false start, Benz is back, the Rams get to bring the house, there we go, 4th down. Whether it's 1st and 10 turns into 1st and 20 because of a false start penalty, because of an illegal guy in the backfield penalty, because of an illegal formation penalty. Our pre-snap penalties have to be cut in the bud. They are killing us.
Dinkelberg.
We had some sustainable drives, but those pre-snap penalties were costly. We have got to nip that in the bud. We had some things that we looked better in, but those we have got to correct. We can't win ball games in the continuing instance with that many pre-snap penalties. Gotta nip those in the bud. But the one thing that the Bears did do, run the football. So I'm happy about that. Happy the Bears got a win 24-18 at home. And
Yeah!
we extended home game win streak to 6.
Yeah!
We gotta win on the road at some point. But next week we're at home, thankfully. But at the end of the day, Bears win. I had to finally smoke a victory cigar. About damn time.
Yes!
Let's go ahead. We celebrate this winning, but at the end of the day, we're on the next week. So at the end of the day, Bears win at home to improve to 2-2 on the year. We still keep some hopes of potentially making the playoffs alive. We still keep some hope of this offense is continually to get better and better, but there are some things that need to be corrected. But at the end of the day, a win masks some of them. Defensively, stout as far as keeping the Rams out of the end zone, and that was a big part of this win. But either way it goes, Bears win, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Yeah! Yes!